Hi you guys! Welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing today? I'm doing okay. I've been doing a lot of filming. I've also recently gotten into doing TikToks and posting them to Instagram. So I have a bunch of really short little one-eye tutorials on there if you want to check that out. I'll have the link in the description below to my Instagram. So today, I thought I would do a quick little out the door, like, simple, you know, the classic, like, brown smoky eye kind of look using this Ulta Frida Kahlo palette. I picked this up before Christmas, I think, and it came with a little color switch thing. And I think that the colors are really cute, and it's a very simple palette to do a very quick, like, brown eye with a shimmer kind of look. And I haven't used it that much. I used it like once, I think, and I did an Instagram photo with it, and that was about it. But yeah, I wanted to use it again. I love that it says never apologize for who you are. Like, that is so cute. Right under the mirror. It came in a really cute collector's box. I gave it to a friend for Christmas because she is a fan of Frida Kahlo. If you don't know, she was an artist from Mexico. And she has a lot of really interesting surreal paintings, and I think that her artworks were really cool. I think the box had a photo of her. One thing that's a little disappointing about this palette, though, is that it's not more colorful. She used a lot of colors in her artworks, and this is a very muted palette compared to the palette that she would use for her paintings. So, like, if you're gonna do something based off of an artist, I feel like you should be a little more true to the artist and what they stood for and the things that they used in their artworks. But that's just me. I also understand the purpose of making, like, a really simple, muted palette. More people will buy something like this rather than, like, something with a lot of really bright, like, paint colors. So I understand. But yeah, I had never tried the Ulta eyeshadows before. I had never tried anything from the Ulta brand before, but I saw this collection and I thought I'd try it out. So let's get started. I'm just gonna take some P. Louise base. I use this all the time now on the back of my hand. And then I'll blend it into my eyes with a brush, if I can find my brush. So I'm just gonna blend some of that base into my eyelids. My eyes are kind of watery right now, so I don't want to do anything too artsy because the longer it takes, the more likely my eyes will water and ruin it. Let me know below if you guys have ever used Ulta brand stuff and, like, you know, if you have any favorites from the Ulta collections. I think before the Frida Kahlo collection came out, there was a Girl Scouts thing. Okay, so I'm going to start off. This is a Morphe M441, just a fluffy brush, and I'm gonna dip into the lightest shade here, Perla, and I'm just gonna, oh, these are kind of chalky. Like, I don't know. I don't remember if I liked the formula or not. It's been a couple months since I used this. So I'm just gonna set that outer edge using that light color. I don't really like Morphe brushes either. Like, the white bristled brushes I don't like. I feel like they're really scratchy and they break off, like the bristles break off and they just don't feel nice. I really like the melt brushes though. I got a collection of the melt brushes from Amar Eterno collection. I was highly satisfied with the brushes in that collection. I thought they were really nice. Okay, so I'm gonna dip into lava, which I don't know why it's called lava because it's a brown color, but just gonna tap. Oh, and that's really pigmented. Okay, tap and blend. I feel like I cut out a lot of the blending in my videos, or I speed it up like 400 times because it's just me sitting here in silence, twirling a brush around. This is the Sonia Kashuk, I don't know the number, the tapered crease brush. I really like her brushes. They're a little bit expensive and they're at Target, but I mean, so are the Morphe brushes, and for the quality in them, they're not worth what you pay for the brand name. I don't really like, I'm not very impressed with Morphe as a whole. I feel like people just want to buy their things because of the influencers that they have backing their brand. You know, like I bought the James Charles palette. It's okay. I picked up the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2. It's okay. You know, I have better palettes for cheaper from indie brands. Like, the palette that they did, I forget the name of the creator off the top of my head, but the pastel one, the 35i Icy Fantasy, I think it was. I almost bought it, and then I realized that I don't need it because I already have this Shroud Cosmetics Creepy Cute palette, and that's the only pastel palette you need. The colors in that palette are so pigmented, like you do not need anything else as far as pastels go. I also picked up the Morphe Jeffree Star, the pink palette, and I really don't like it. I don't use it, like, ever, because I think it's stinky, and I shouldn't use things that I think are stinky. I'm really just blending that brown shadow on the outer corners, you can tell, and then I'm gonna bring that in farther on the top. Not adding any product, just blending that color in. So I'm gonna dip into the yellow ochre shade called Soul, and I'm gonna use that to blend this middle shade. I don't know what to do with my mirrors, like how to film without covering the camera lens, but also in a way that allows me to look in the camera. You know, I'm just talking to myself in my old bedroom, teaching people how to do makeup even though nobody's watching these. I feel like that's looking, you know, very basic. Kind of cute, very basic. I'm gonna take a smaller brush and I'm gonna dip into the black Infinity, and I'm just gonna use that to lightly deepen up the corner. I don't like Morphe brushes. And I'm not saying that this is the best quality palette either, but like Morphe brushes just aren't nearly as good as people say they are. I really want to try Sigma brushes to see if they are an improvement on Morphe brushes. I've bought so many Morphe brushes, and it's so late for me to decide that I don't like them, but I don't. You know, like, you wash them once and you can try to reshape them, but they just end up fraying, and like they've got all kinds of hairs out of place, and just they're not nice. So I'm going to dip into that shade Perla again, and I'm going to use that to blend this outer edge, just really soften it. That looks nice. I like that. This palette isn't the best quality, but it's got some nice shadows in it, and it's really useful when you just want to do like a quick, warm, neutral toned eyeshadow look. I'm gonna go back in with that shade Lava, just lightly blend that with that black shade. I don't know why my pinky goes up when I blend. It just does. I'm a fancy blender, I guess, is the only way that I could describe that. Blending takes so long. I think that looks nice. Next, I'm just gonna I'm actually gonna use one of these silicone brushes. Take this one. I'm actually gonna take one of these little silicone brushes I have, and I'm gonna dip into the shade Muse. And that's this gold shimmer in the palette, and I'm gonna use that to pack it on the inner half. That's what these silicone brushes are good for. I filmed a video trying to do a full face of makeup with them because they were advertised as being able to be used for a full face of makeup, but the only benefit to using these is that they work for shimmers. Like if you have really long nails and you can't use your fingers to pack shimmer shades on, these are the brushes you want because they don't soak up product. Like you don't lose the shimmer in the bristles of the brush because there are no bristles. And I really feel like this brush is giving this eyeshadow a fighting chance, which is what you want. I think this palette was only like $12 or something like that. Maybe it was even cheaper because I got it in the set with the color switch, so I think it was like $25. But I think if you just wanted the palette, I don't remember if that was also for sale. Well, and you take away the box and you take away the color switch, all you get is the palette, and I think that values at like, you know, maybe like $10 or so. I would buy this palette again for $10. I think it's a decent palette for neutral looks. I mean, there's also like this really weird purpley shade called Dahlia, and I think that could do something. Like, you could make other looks with this. I just feel like it's really easy to use for a neutral look. So now I think I'm going to take this sexy metallic eyeliner in shade 5. It's from Shop Miss A, but it's this really pretty gold color. And I'm going to run that along my crease, or just above my crease rather, just to add some shimmeriness. I did this in a TikTok with the white silver one that I have. I don't know if the camera's picking up on that, but it just adds like a nice little detail to your eye looks when you add like a shimmery line like that. I really like it. I think it looks nice. There we go. We got our gold lines on, and now I just need to add a black wing and some lashes and our eye look will be done. So yeah, so I'll do that off camera and I'll come right back. Alright, so we are back, and I put a lip on and some lashes and liner, and I also combed through my brows using the Milani Clear Brow Mascara. I'm using the Kiss Lashes in the shape Pitch. I think these are really pretty, like, you know, small, but also, you know, they're not the biggest lashes I have, but they're the same shape as like some of the bigger ones that I have, and I really like that kind of spiky flare look. I used the NYX Epic Ink liner to do my liner. I always do. This is my favorite black liner because it has a brush tip, and I think that they work better than felt tips because the ink really lines the tip of the brush. I also used this black Pixie Endless Silky Eye Pen for my waterline. Somebody told me that this was like the best black liner, and I agree. I think it's a really nice one. I think it's better than the Wet n Wild one, and I think it's better than the ColourPop one. So as of right now, this is my favorite black waterline eyeliner. I also used the mascara from Pretty Vulgar. I got it in a BoxyCharm a while ago. And I'm just going to highlight. I'm going to use this shade Penny Lou Manizer from the Balm. Oh, and the lipstick I'm wearing is the Wonder Matte lipstick in the shade Extra from AOA. It's the Shop Miss A lipstick. So let me just grab some of this Penny Lou and we'll highlight. I think this is a really pretty gold highlighter. I have another gold highlighter from Jeffree Star in the Brain Freeze palette, but it's a little deep for my skin tone. It's a little too orangey for my skin tone, but I think this one is just right. Let me hit the brow bone. I like the Balm's products. I picked up a couple of them. They were on clearance at Kohl's. I think their products are more subtle than some other stuff. I have this highlighter palette, I've got 2 blushes, and I've picked up the Go for the Bronze bronzing powder. I don't use that too much because that one is pretty pigmented. I prefer my Physicians Formula over the one from the Balm, but it's not a bad product at all, and I really like this highlight. It's subtler than the ones from Jeffree Star, but at the same time it's not. Like, you can build it up, and I think it looks really nice. So yeah, this is the look. Trying out this Ulta eyeshadow palette. Would I recommend this eyeshadow palette? Yeah, it's a cheap little palette. I think the quality of the eyeshadows are okay. They blend okay. And I think that it's a very easy palette to use. It's not confusing at all. Like, you can look at this and you can see, how you're supposed to use it. So I really like that about this palette. It's a great palette for people who aren't necessarily into makeup, but they just want to do, you know, quick looks like this to go to work or whatever. I think this is a work appropriate eyeshadow look. I don't know, maybe I don't know anything about going to work because I've only worked at like a movie theater, but yeah, I don't know. I think this is a really pretty look, and I think that anybody trying to get into makeup would enjoy using this palette. But yeah, that's my final thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye everybody!